did it that day. And the Gospel of Peace is a spiritual book, you know, about fasting and eating raw foods. Eat the living foods, and it will bring you more alive, and eat the dead foods, and guess what that's going to do? Each dead thing that you eat leaves dead residues in your spirit and your organism. Because everything that's in the spirit arises within the organism. So if you want to know how someone's spirit is, just look at that and see it. You know? Just see it. You'll feel it. You can feel. The more sensitive you get, do enough watermelon fasting, you'll know, whoa, I didn't be around that person. Hell no. You're like walking around. Bad vibe. They're like smiley and pretty. Nice clothes, nice car. Just, whoa. It's like this, you did not trust that person. But then there's somebody else, raggedy, all beat up, with line, drinking. You're like, oh, magnetized. Yeah, I'm just drinking. I just want to take a break. I just quit my CEO job. It's like I'm just paddling out here playing guitar. What's up, man? You know, and they're cool. It doesn't matter what they wear on the outside, or it's just they have that magnetism. They're not going to hurt you, and they would help you if they could, kind of thing, you know. So we're moving forward from the raw foods. Not my fault, but I have a warning for you. Keep eating the raw foods and you will end up like a wingnut like me. Examining the qualities, the inner, deeper, more profound, more expansive levels of being. I'll just explain a little bit about how it happened to me. You know, I was in pretty bad shape, read the Gospel of Peace. Let's not get into the details. You know, I was a mess, but you know, the raw food gave me hope. It made sense. No wonder. I was like, it just was like this, no wonder kind of thing, you know. No wonder I'm such a mess. And of course, you learn later that those foods are just kind of just weird. They're weird in your blood. The subtlety of the food affects the qualities of the mind. Does anyone think that has a possibility? Okay, like the food is like, the fiber is like the fiber. It's just out. The water and the sugars and the minerals and the amino acids are the flesh. But the subtle vibrations of the food is what feeds the mind. So, you know, try to eat watermelons for a week, see what happens. You probably won't be as pissed off as you were the week before when you were eating like charbroiled, you know, steaks and stuff that's more, you know, irritating and more stimulating as opposed to more nourishing and dynamic kind of health, you know. So the mind's affected by the food, you know, and then you begin to have much more awareness. When you have awareness, you become like me, like most people can see. Like they look at, a lot of people say this, dude, you're just super aware of yourself. Like most people wouldn't even notice, like, I'm really sorry I had that energy vibe yesterday with you. I apologize for my behavior. I shouldn't have said that. And they're just like, huh? They didn't even notice it. But for me, I have a very high level of standards about the way that I treat people. I'm committed to unconditional love, you know, and peace. And I want to have fun in this life and be a man, but also be very respectful. So there's this line you got to walk down. You got to live and be human, but you want to keep your spiritual qualities as high as you can. You know, so you're walking this line and you're just trying to do what's right. If you want to live and enjoy life, you're a human being. You need to express certain things to stay balanced, but you don't want to, you know, you're not out there to hurt anyone or tell untruth. Be honest, you know, about your intentions, or, you know, so it's always a fine line, and it's just very, very difficult to be a human being. The way I see it. It's just a challenge. So why, I don't care what people eat. I really don't. You call me up and say, you know, I've got cancer. First thing I'm going to look at is, I mean, we talk about, I do consultations, and I know that I'm supposed to be this raw food guy, but, I mean, it lasts about 2 minutes. talk about food, and I say, well, really, let's like do this. Like, what's really going on? And people are anxious, and they're in this crappy job, and they're wondering, what kind of foods can I eat to heal up my, irritable bowel syndrome? Well, where do you eat? Well, I get about 20 minutes every day at work, and I'm really pissed off, and I'm on the run. I'm eating I eat 7 French fries and 2 carrot sticks, and then I got to go back to work. And things are really bad right now with my husband, and it's like, oh, irritable bowel syndrome, you want to know what food? Guess what? None of the food is going to work. It's not going to do anything until you sit down, relax, make some space, and get religious about your eating time. You got to relax. A human being that is stressed out with adrenaline in their blood does not digest. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't even matter if it's a quarter cup of watermelon juice. You're not ready to eat when you're vexed, when your spirit is vexed. Don't eat. Just wait. Just wait and wait and wait until you're calm, until you have some space. You're not going to die if you go 16 or 24 hours without eating, or 3 days even. But wait until you're calm. Your irritable bowel syndrome is, going to say, well, how's everything with your wife? Well, she cheated on me 3 years ago. You say, oh, and you were diagnosed with the irritable bowel syndrome 3 years ago. Interesting. So have you forgiven your wife? Well, I said I did. Have you forgiven her at depth? No. So you're eating resentment every time you eat and you have Crohn's disease. You know what I mean? Because you're not digesting anything and you shouldn't be eating. You're eating anxiety. You're eating resentment. Every time you eat, you've got to get some peace going in there. You've got to find peace with the non-peace. You know what I mean? Does that seem like a reasonable kind of thing? Okay, I'm not at peace. It's cool. Or I'm agitated, or I'm, And then if you can find like that peace with, outside of, and like, okay, so life is really, really hectic and screwy right now. That's okay. It's going to get better tomorrow. It all has really good significance, meaning, and so the universe is working on my behalf at this time to create a better life for me. That's why so many humans, you got to bore through like the ram, dude. There's going to be some poop storms. I really want to say the real word, military style. Shit storms, man. Where the whole thing is falling apart. You're going to hell in a handbasket. Bullets are flying, bombs are dropping, man. What are you going to do? Give up? You're like, that's a war zone. I'm not going there. It's like, that's a war zone. I'm going in there. I'm going to find out what the hell's wrong with me. I'm going to find out what my problem is, and I'm going to do something about it if I can. I'm going to bring the light of awareness to my own BS. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to look at it. And I'm going to say, hi, my name is Dan. I'm going to be at a 12-step meeting. I'm a real dickhead sometimes. Egotistical. I worry. Get afraid. I really want to punch some of these people on YouTube in the face. Because they don't know me. I'm just doing my best, So yeah, but would I really ever punch anyone? No, I punched my brother in 7th grade once. It made me feel so bad. I said, I'm never hitting another human being because of the way that I was treated as a child all my life. I said, I'm never going to hit anybody. I'm not going to hit my kids, that's for sure. Never hit my kids and never punched them. Why? I just said and I explained to them, hey, why? My daughter said to me one time, she goes, no, I think she was 8. I just turned to her and I said, wow, Antika, why'd you say that? Other people would be, bah! And she said, I'm sorry, Dad. Never said it again. It was that one, that's all it took to see if we could have started the war right there. Dad against kid. And the war could rage on until the teenagers, until they move out. But I just said, hey, why'd you say that, Antika? I asked her a question. And she knew, like she got it. She never said no to me. So I'm totally not into violence or competition really at all. It just doesn't fit well with me. I don't. Because I'm afraid to lose, probably. But I just don't. Now in my life, I see that I'm the one in my own way. And it's just things that I'm going to have to work through. And there's going to be things that are pleasant and not so pleasant times. And the pleasant times are not pleasant. I mean, the unpleasant times are not pleasant. But what are you going to do? Go into spin downwards into a depression? Fight it? Push against it and make it even stronger? Or just sort of, okay, I act like a jerk sometimes. Yeah. I'll just try to be more aware next time. I like it when it really hurts, when you do something really stupid. Like what I did last night was just a little stupid to me. Oh, it's cool, it's gone now, it's already gone. But you know when you do something really stupid, and you really put your foot in your mouth? Both shoes, you know. Wow, you idiot! How could you have done that? And then posted it, you know? Sometimes I leave it up just to remind myself of what not to say. But those are the cool times. See, even the light of truth believes in me. Those are the ones because you remember. It's sort of like the eating thing. You're like, oh, I can just eat this, you know, whatever. I mean, how do we do it in here? You know, I can eat all these avocados or whatever. And you say, oh, and you're like, oh, I'm cool with it. I mean, I'm a total fruitarian. Avocados are fruit, right? You know, you just ate 6 avocados or whatever. And it just wasn't the right timing. You remember next time. But that's not even really one of those things that's really bad and really stupid. I can't even think of an example because I've been so perfect lately. I just quit doing that stuff to myself. I just don't want to. I'm trying to be more aware. You just watch what you're about to say. Watch your own energy. Sometimes, I mean, the semantics of it, people, you learn on YouTube that it's a one-dimensional thing, and they definitely took it out of context. And it's their personal issue. Dan, I used to love you. I've watched your videos for 2 years, but you just said something, and now, ugh, I'm out of here. And you're like, whoa, 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 that was like a personal experience. The context, it's one-dimensional. Now you're putting your thing on me. So I'm asking everyone to look inside of yourself. It's all a reflection. I am the type of person that generally doesn't really have anything against anyone. I have a lot of work to do if I hope to be like the people that taught me. The men that I love and respect, the God men of great power, great truth, through the fire, balls to the walls, man, would be willing to give up their life to go through the door, to become that, to give up their life. Now what does that mean? That means to give up the illusory ego that you think is your life. The programs. Hi, this is my social security number, this is my name, you know, and all the things you identify with. Are you willing to give up all those identifications to walk through the door, to walk through the fire, to get to the other side with a peace that passes understanding? You know, many of you will probably, in this lifetime or the next, be, you know, the doorway will arise if you're a seeker of the truth. The truth will keep, your destiny will keep pulling you into it. And it could be, you know, it could be in 30 seconds, or it could be in 30 lifetimes from now, you know? It's not really that big of a deal. Some of us start to get old souls, we're like, I'm going to get this, man. I mean, you're fluffing around too much. And you can't force it, but you can cultivate the garden of your enlightenment. And you weed. You weeded everything out, and you drop it off. All the identifications. And you're constantly surrendering everything, all the time. Because you know that it's just a perception. You can't really trust your own perception. The mind is a self-referential mechanism. And if it's broken, how is a broken mind going to fix itself? So, does anyone here have control over whether or not they are aware or not? Or is awareness autonomous? Is awareness automatic? Can anyone in here shut off their awareness? Try it. Nobody in here succeeded, did they? So you're all still aware. So if it was you, you could stop the awareness, but it's not. Awareness is autonomous. So now here's this awareness observing this protoplasmic, thing, dualistic thing, protoplasm story. Here you are, awareness stuck inside this body, as it's a vehicle. And my friends, no matter how much fasting we do, or fruit we eat, or fitness we do, this thing is going to fall over. You're going to leave it one day. And it would be very much sooner than any of us think. We shouldn't be too attached to the body. It's a great tool. It's a great mechanism, great vehicle. It's an earth suit. You know what I mean? It's an earth suit. It's cool. It's going to get fat. It's going to fall over. So let's get peace. Like I made a video this morning for a young man who's anxiety about if I die, I'll leave my kids. It's like 22 years old. Whoa, relax. Death is a big one, right? Nobody wants to. We're so enamored. We're the star in our own show. And believe me, nobody knows us better than I do. You know what I mean? But we're the star in our own little show. Aren't we? Right? You kind of can't help it. You know what I mean? You're stuck here, man. For now. So we got to do the best we can with what it is. Which is, whoa, here I am in this thing. Got to feed it, wipe his butt, clean it. Probably get a house for it so we can sleep. And the bats and the spiders and the slugs don't crawl over you. And you don't get too cold when it's freezing in the winter. Then you need a job. Of course, now you need a car to get to the job. So now you need insurance. So now you need a second job. And we're all stuck in this mess that we've created. I'm not responsible. It's the New World Order. They're the bastards. Let's kill those sons of bitches and stop them. Don't worry about them. Here's one of the highest and greatest truths, noble. Everything's perfect. Anybody in here wants to change the earth? Please don't. I need it to be this way. If you change the way this earth is, this world, then God's going to have to make another one just like it, and I got to go there so I can learn my lessons and get what I need to get. So I can wake up, dude, wake up. You're sleeping. I'm awake enough to know I'm still half asleep. Wake up. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy? Awake enough to know you're still half asleep. Come on. Yeah. Come on, brain. Light. Get that halo. You know what I'm saying? You see those halos, the saints? With their halos? That's real. I've had glimpses of it in my experience when I did everything just right. And I've had those experiences where, wow, the light was on in my head. And I had the halo. It happened to me one day. I was actually on wheatgrass and coconuts for 3 days, and I was at this music festival playing my drum. And I felt it. And somebody behind me saw it, and I heard, she goes, look at that guy, he's glowing. Yeah, I'm on coconuts and wheatgrass for 3 days, and I'm playing music, two things which I love. And it was just there. That was one of those days. We all have those high experiences when we need them. I always say to God, why don't I have these spiritual experiences like these other people get to have? And it always says to me, because you have so much faith already, Dan, that you just don't need them. Other people, they are so stubborn that God almost has to kill them, take away their life for them to wake up and appreciate. You know what I mean? But I'm really more of a humble servant type in this lifetime, And so I have a lot of faith. And I've definitely had to cultivate more faith as this thing goes on. In this life, faith about that all the finances will be handled. That, I'll say the right thing. It's really, a lot of it comes down to us for finances. We're worried that we're not going to have enough. But you can always contemplate that through, and then you're like, wait a minute. So then I always do worst case scenario. You can always do worst case scenario. Okay, first, everyone hates me, then I die. Oh, and then you think, okay, so what's the problem? Everyone hates me, and then I die. I can live with that. So there you go. Now nothing should bother you anymore. Everyone hates you and you die. Could be a possibility. Could happen. So what's the problem? Nothing. So when you do worst case scenario, you set yourself up. Because then you don't have to identify with, hi, my name is Dan, I'm the Life Regenerator on YouTube. I'm very popular, people like me. I'm going to be making lots of money, helping lots of people. Well, what if that whole identity just crashes? I say something really stupid, do something really stupid, and the whole thing goes away. I think to myself, well, God, then I can go into the woods and relax and eat berries, and no one will have to bother me anymore, and I won't be bothering anybody anymore, and no one will remember me, and I'll fade out, and it'll be perfect. I'll sit there on a stump. That'd be awesome, man. So whatever happens is cool. I see the path, you know. I see either one. Sitting on a stump in the woods, everyone hates me because I said something stupid on YouTube, or Mr. Life Regenerator, the greatest health advocate that ever lived, you know, millionaire, you know, driving convertibles, whatever. It's all cool. I'm cool with all of it. And I'll write those things down. Get a convertible, drive across the country, do meet and greets, look people in the eyes, shake their hands, give them a hug. Tell them to eat fruits and vegetables and cultivate those qualities. And I do it up here, hey, I'm Dan, I'll be honest with you. I'm perfect. I'll tell you anything. You know, I won't get into like details of my intimate whatevers. Because you'd be like, oh, cool. I'm just kidding. So, but the best talks, I got some advice this morning. Is she here? She said the best talks are the ones where the people are just honest. Well, guess what? That's the only thing I'm good at, man, because I don't remember anything ever. I just wing it. So I'm real. It's really real. Like this stuff I think about every day. I got headphones in listening to David Hawkins. I got spiritual books. What sucks about being on a bike ride is you don't have your books. Because you got to open the book and be like, oh yeah, remember, be nice to people. You need a spiritual saint or something. Open the book and, oh yeah, be kind. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have all those books that remind me, but I have the DVDs and CDs that I carry on my iPod. And I just take the highest levels of consciousness stuff. This is why all this happened, that I went from fruits and vegetables to teaching about enlightenment. Because I just blast my brain every day, every second that I can, driving down the road, riding my bike, in the room, at night before I go to sleep, program myself with the highest levels of enlightenment consciousness, wake up in the morning, turn it on for a few minutes, then meditate on whatever came through. Anything from Dr. Hawkins is fine. I listen to Joel Osteen if I want to get pumped up. A million other dudes. Robert Morris. You know, there's so many great teachers, but really what it is I really focus on the Hawkins work, because he's the most elevated human that I know of, who explains things in linear terms and also says it in a way, he's a white dude, in other words. And I'm a white dude, and I can understand his language. Because some of the Indian saints and stuff, they lose me with the stuff. You know, their words, all their different words and stuff. I still read their books, and even get the dictionary out and try to understand like what these words mean. But it's cool when it's just a white dude, and he's the same way as me, you know what I'm saying? He's like an 80-year-old dude, you know what I'm saying? Like that. He's hella funny, like a kid, like having fun, just kind of like me. Like, he's been my biggest influence. And I did the raw food stuff, and I learned from all these different guys about the raw foods. And I read hella books, Herbert Shelton, Bragg, and Lou Corona, and you know, all these dudes. Doug Graham, read his book a few times, you know, all these dudes. But then the Hawkins work came into my life, Power versus Force. Read the book, I was like, damn. Read the whole series, read them over and over and over and over again, got all the CDs, DVDs. I would sit there with a big old pile of, you know, pate made from like zucchinis and almonds, and a huge pile of vegetables, and I would just watch videos, Dr. Hawkins, every night in the RV, because I just wanted to program myself, because I want to align myself with those highest fields of energy. Even if I go out, I leave the music, the Dr. Hawkins playing, so that it goes into the walls of the motel room, so that when I get back, the motel room is a vortex of spiritual energy. These teachings enhance the water. Do you commit yourself, or can you even think of love? And if you commit yourself, and every time I jump into the water, I say, in the name of unconditional love, silently to myself. And every time there's water, I jump in it. And I say, in the name of unconditional love. I jump in it. So I'm programming myself to be that. So I feel that I have a good vibe. People really like to be around the Dan. And the reason is because he is programmed the water in his body to be unconditional love. So people are like, I don't agree with you philosophically, but you know, you're actually a pretty decent guy, Dan. You know. It's because of the energy. Don't get lost in the semantics. Just feel the vibe. All I'm trying to do is, if I could make a YouTube video set, that it would be like this. Feel the essence. And just feel it. It's like, I ain't no spiritual master, but I'm good. I'm not going to judge you. I know how hard life can be. I know how tired you can get sometimes, and wound up, and scared, and everything, all that stuff. But I'm going to stand there and be like, yo, I've thought about a lot of that stuff, and I'm just not going to let it get me down. I'm going to stand here, I'm going to keep my head held high, and tuck my chin back just a little, and I'm going to allow this light of the universe to flow into the top of my head, through my feet, and in the center of it is an orb of energy. It's love. Love is the power generator. You know what I'm saying? You've got to have the love in here. I went from the path of the mind, intellectually discovered that, yes, love is a very wise decision to make. I figured out love was the way to go. Because I was more of a mental person. I still am. You can see the fire coming off my brain. I'm trying to learn how to quiet it down. I've got some quiet space coming up for the next few months, thank God. 2.5 years I've been putting up a video, or 3 or 10 every day, answering millions of emails and texts. And I can't say no, but I have to learn how to say no. Because when someone's dying and they write to me, I might be the only person they know that might have some little inkling. I might be able to, with a few words, I've seen it a million times, with a few words, somebody actually gets hope. And it keeps them alive. So for me to take a few months off, it's like, Jesus, I need like an assistant to, don't lose hope. Dan will be back in a few months, you know? It feels like you're missing one of those souls or something. And you don't want to do that, but you can get really wore out. And then your spiritual work takes this back step, and it kind of breaks your heart, you know what I mean? But this is all service, and it's like, I'm willing to like die to do this. Like, I'm not really clinging to my own life. You know, I'm willing to like give my life up to my friends. You know, it's kind of weird. It sounds kind of weird. I didn't even know I would say anything like that. But you know, what's the big deal, man? It's like people are suffering, and they don't really have to. It's like if they just knew what I know, that it's all good, and there's this infinite, eternal light. And it's like, I feel it's like it's the okayness. I should make YouTube videos and just be like, can you feel the okayness? What is? Oh yeah, the shit's hitting the fan, it's terrible. I feel like crap today, but I'm okay with that. Or my finances are crazy, the economy's all screwed up and we're losing everything. It's like, okay. But you get into that state of mind where you go, okay, this must be setting us up for something else. You think, oh, it's ruining us, we're ruined. Or you can be the type of person that goes, something really cool must be happening. We're going to lose everything, we're going to have to buy an RV, and then we're going to have to move to upstate New York and go live in a campground. And then you start breathing better, and you start living, and it's like something, then you change into nature, and you're like, wow, we were really stuck in that